Hi there. I often get asked how I film my accordion videos, what camera I use, how I record the sounds, where I edit, and all that behind the scenes stuff. So today, I am taking you on a little tour of my home setup. Spoiler, it's simple, but it works. Sound comes first, always. I almost always record my sound before I film the video. Only sometimes I can play live while filming. Usually when it's impossible to play with the metronome. And not because I am noob, but because the song can have such a character. And no, this is not a fake or authentic. It's all about the quality. I want you, the listener, to actually enjoy the sound. Ta-da! Sometimes I even record extra tracks, like harmonies or secondary melodies, or double the same line using a different register. This is why the accordion sounds fuller and richer and more enjoyable for you. The microphone I use might surprise you. Okay, here's the fun part. About 10 years ago, I ordered a cheap PM800 condenser mic from AliExpress, and I'm still using it today. I don't know what the magic it is, but it costs around $12, and honestly, I really like the sound. It's soft, it's smooth, just perfect for the acoustic instruments. I did upgrade the XLR cable, thus, and yes, cable matters even more than I thought. I bought a high-quality XLR cable, which costs more than the mic, and the background noise in my headphones disappeared completely. So it means if you bought the new mic, connected it to your computer, but you hear some noise from your headphones, you just have to know it's not the mic problem. You just have to buy a good XLR cable. And for voice recording, you can use any kind of lab mic and then use the Auphonic website when AI will edit your voice quick and easy and with the good quality. Audio interface to connect the mic to my computer. I use an M-Audio M2 Duo audio interface. It costs about $65. Before this one, I went through a few interfaces. They boot easily, and all the models go out of support quickly. If you are buying an interface, choose the recent model so you don't end up with a piece of gear no one can fix. I have been using the M2 Duo for over a year now, and I'm really happy with it. It's budget-friendly and it works great. Plus, it comes with the different music software and plugins, what might be useful for you. Mastering has a much bigger impact on your final sound than the mic itself. You don't need an expensive mic to start, just a decent condenser microphone and a solid understanding of how to use your DAW. My advice, invest your time into learning audio software. It's actually what will make your sound good. If you want me to tell you more about sound recording, specific of accordions recording and how I do mastering, then text in the comments and maybe I will make a new video about it. Bonus, my MIDI keyboard. I also use an M-Audio Station 88 MP3 MIDI keyboard. Sometimes I use it to add layers to my accordion recording, sometimes to write drums parts, and sometimes just to play piano. It has a full-size keyboard, which I love. Let's go to the video recording process. You thought I would start talking about cameras, but no. We are starting with the lighting because that's what actually makes your video look good. If you want a beautiful shoot, you need light as much as you can get. And again, you don't need to buy some crazy expensive film lights. You are filming in the room, not in the 150 square meter studio. Don't forget it. Your ideal home studio lighting setup could be like 2 continuous lights with the softboards to light up you, the main character, a few RGB lights for the background, and some creative warm lights, like vintage bulbs, lamps, or fairy lights. You can never have too much of those. With this kind of setup, you can even shoot with your phone, and it will already look pretty good. So, what do I use? I have 2 softboard lights. Not professional lamp blocks, just a regular lamp lights. One has a big bulb and the other has 4 smaller ones. You can find similar lighting kits on Amazon. For background lighting, I use a simple RGB LED panel. Honestly, it's good, but I would love something more powerful. And also I have a sunset lamp, which you can get on Amazon or AliExpress for sure. Also, I use one regular lamp where I put my favorite Edison bulbs. Oh, and lots of LED fairy lights. They are perfect for atmosphere. Also, I have a table LED lamp with the cold light, so I can use it easily when I need to record some story or Instagram or something like that. And don't forget about the stands. You need it a lot. And as always, you don't need something heavy, expensive stands. Some light and cheap are pretty enough. Lately, about a month ago, I bought a red paper backdrop, and honestly, it was one of the best decisions I have made for my videos. A paper backdrop gives your shots a clean, professional look and helps your viewers focus entirely on you. Not distraction from bookshelves or plants in the background. Just you, your instrument, and the vibe. And actually, it looks super stylish on camera. Plus, it's really fun to play around with the different aesthetics. I often scroll through Pinterest for inspiration. What size do I use? Mine is 1.3 meters wide. To be honest, it's a bit tight, especially when I'm playing the accordion. The pedals sometimes go off frame. Also, shooting a full-body horizontal video is almost impossible. I sometimes have to extend the backdrop digitally in editing. But for vertical videos like Instagram, TikTok, it always works pretty well. I plan to buy a few more backdrops in wider sizes, ideally 2 meters, which I think the best balance. I would love to get even wider ones, but I live in an apartment and the space is limited. What you need to set it up: 2 light stands, at least 2 meters tall when extended, and the horizontal crossbar to hang the backdrop on. If you can't find this in local shops, don't worry, you can get everything on Amazon or AliExpress. And finally, what do I use to film? Let's talk about the cameras. Right now, I use 2 cameras, my Canon 77D with the Sigma 17-50mm and my partner's Canon 6D with the Canon 50mm f1.2. We bought both of them about 6 years ago. Back then, they were quite new. Since then, tons of new models have come out, and honestly, I have lost track of them. But I'm still really happy with the look and feel I get from both. If you are choosing a camera, here's what I would recommend. The lens matters more than the camera body. If you are just starting out, a zoom lens is super useful. You can adjust the focal length without switching lenses. Prime lenses like a 50mm give you that beautiful background blur, but there is a catch. If your room is small, don't go over 50mm. If you get something like 80mm, you will need to place the camera far away and your face will still take up the entire frame. Not ideal. Also, get a camera with the flip-out screen. It makes self-filming so much easier because you can see exactly how the shoot looks as you're recording. And let's talk about the camera tripod. This is definitely something you shouldn't save money on. Cheap tripods break so quickly, even if you don't use them that often. Look for something sturdy and stable that can be adjusted into different angles and heights. Trust me, a good tripod is less stress and more peace of mind. And finally, the last step. Editing your video in a video editor. The very first thing you need to do is sync your audio with the video. You need to be super precise. Your fingers movements should match the music exactly. Otherwise, you might end up with a bunch of comments like, "This isn't you playing," or "You are faking it." Yes, I have been there. Not fun, really. So the next step is to cut between different cameras angles if you recorded multiple takes. Let's be honest. Video editing requires some specific skills. If you have never done it before, I recommend watch a few YouTube tutorials or even take a small course if you like. That said, it's not as scary as it seems. Once you get into it, it becomes manageable and even fun. I personally use Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a professional editing program, but there is also simpler options with the intuitive interfaces like CapCut, iMovie, and also online tool Canva Video Editor. Final block. So that's my full behind-the-scenes setup, from audio and lighting to cameras and editing. Everything I use is pretty simple and budget-friendly, but it works. And I hope it inspires you to start creating with what you have. Making music videos as one-woman production team takes time, love, and lots of coffee. So if you would like to help keep the music going, consider joining my Patron or becoming a YouTube sponsor. Links are in the description, and every bit of your support means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, and see you soon in the next video. Bye!